Hello everyone, Junior Bacon Chi here. I decided to make a Holy Priest PvP guide. It's not meant for anything super serious. I'm not a 2500 rated player or anything like that. I'm just really enjoying the Holy Priest, and so I thought I'd give a guide type thing on what it is that I find useful. I'm basically going to go through a couple key points. I'm going to go through talents, so what it is that I use, useful spells, and when to use them, and then your cooldowns and your cooldown usage. And then at the end, I'm going to show some gameplay and explain what it is, sort of step by step on what it is that I did. So hopefully you guys learned something. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hope you guys enjoy. Thank you very much. Alrighty, I decided to go out to just a world PvP area just so I could show you what it is that I do with talents and everything. So I am just going to go through regular talents to begin with. These are all situational and preference on how you guys want to heal. But for right now, I just do Trial of Light. Whenever you cast Flash Heal, 40% of the healing is replicated on the previous target. So let's say I heal me, and then I heal another person. When I heal the next person, 40% of the heal heals me as well. So it's really good if you're doing group healing, and if you're spamming Flash Heal. Again, it's situational. I will also do an Enduring Renewal, so your single target heals just renew your renew. It refreshes the duration. I never have mana issues, so I don't really run Enlightenment. But a lot of the time, I'll do the renewal because I do heal so often because they buffed heal immensely. It costs like hardly any mana, and it just heals for so much more than Flash Heal. But in a bind, and you need to go back to back to back super quickly, sometimes having Trial of Light really will help. I know people want to do different things. I used to do Perseverance. Because of the passive 30% less damage that you always take when you start getting attacked. Stacking 10% more, so a constant 40% less damage is nice. But, and then I've also tried Body and Mind, which is great because it's just a little hot, and then it makes you faster, and you can cast it pretty quickly every 10 seconds. I love Angelic Feather a lot, and I'll show you in some of the PvP examples. But what I do is, let's see if I can, there's no enemies by. What I'll do is I'll pop a feather down, and let's say I want to mind control someone off a cliff. I will then put my angelic feather down. I will mind control the person and run them through my feather. Since they're now an ally, they can take the speed buff, and it just pretty much guarantees, because sometimes they'll be slowed, and it just is really hard to get them off the edge sometimes, especially if they trinket the first mind control. So then you pop the feather down, mind control them, and you can just run them off the cliff. So I tend to use that more. I know a lot of people use Shining Force. I personally don't, unless it's a map where I can push them off a bridge. But I tend to use mind control to do that. I do the Censure, which everybody knows, it just makes your daze thingy, your Holy Word Chastise, into a stun, which is extremely powerful when you stack it with Apotheosis, which I do run. I know some people do Circle of Healing because having more instant casts while you can move is really helpful. And then some people do Benediction. I normally just run Benediction for PvE when I'm in raids. Otherwise, I'm just running Apotheosis. So I do the Censure, and then I do Light of the Naru because it just makes, I absolutely love the Holy Words, so I want to use them as much as I possibly can. I don't really find the other two very useful because they're too situational, for me, at least. I used to run Surge of Light because it was really great to have instant flash heals, but again, I don't really do tons of flash heals. I would much rather have the Prayer of Mending cooldown reduced. because I'm also buffed into it with rapid mending. So instant cast, and then what, 9 seconds later I can do it again and again and again. It's just when you can pump them out so quickly, you put them on yourself, any teammate that's close to you, you can have so many of these prayer mendings on, which is extremely helpful prior to a fight. So you get all these up as quickly as you can. And let's say a balance druid comes in, these prayer of mendings are going to be bouncing around like crazy because you have dots on everyone, or bleeds. So it's good against rogues, warriors, anything with a bleed or a dot, a poison dot, magic dot, it doesn't matter, or really heavy cleave. Yeah, it's just bouncing around healing everyone, and you can do it every 9 seconds. So I find this extremely helpful. Divine Star and Halo, I don't really care about. I've used them some. It didn't really do enough for me. I do Divinity because anything that can get my heals to just one-shot their health all the way up. So when you heal with a Holy Word spell, your healing is increased by 15% for 6 seconds. So if I do Holy Word Sanctify, something I'll do if I'm trying to just really get someone up is I'll do the Light of Turu, which increases your healing by 25% for 10 seconds, and you can stack it. So let's say someone's taking, for an example, let's say they have a flag and they're just getting focused. I'll do a Sanctify to get the Divinity buff, and then I'll do Light of Turu. So Sanctify, Light of Turu, and so you got this buff going, and then I'll do Holy Word Serenity, and it's a huge buff, and then I'll spam some heals, some full heals, not just flash heal, but actual heal, and it's just tons and tons. And then this procs, all healing done by 20%. Like, you can get really, I mean, my heal is doing over 1 million. Granted, this isn't instance PvP. This is world PvP, but still, you get the point. It stacks up quite a bit. And then I run Apotheosis. It basically makes it so your cooldowns, whenever you do your Serendipity, it is increased by 200%. And the cost of your Holy Words by 100%. So, for an example, you pop the Apotheosis, and then I do Holy Word Serenity. It's got a minute cooldown, but let's say I do Flash Heal. This is where I actually do Flash Heals instead of Heal. Flash Heal 3 times, and then I got Serenity up again. Flash Heal 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then I got Holy Word Serenity up again. Or if I have Sanctify, since I'm spec'd into Prayer of Mending, I do that, and it reduces the cooldown. So another extremely powerful thing that I do with Apotheosis is the Holy Word Chastise, and this is why I spec into Censure, is it's 3 smites and you can stun, 3 smites and then you can stun, 3 smites, then you can stun. And if you do that on the same target, it will diminish in return your stuns, but if there's a group fight, you can stun one, stun a different guy, stun a different guy, stun a different guy, and it is extremely powerful when you're trying to do more control when you're outnumbered. So if you can keep stunning different guys mixed with mind control, stunning, and then keeping your team up with the Holy Words because they're instant cast, with Apotheosis, I just find that it is so helpful. So that's what I personally do as far as talents. Alrighty, now let's get into PvP talents. I obviously do just Gladiator. I haven't found the other ones very helpful. So yes, I just do Gladiator's Medallion. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I think pretty much everybody does it. Just makes it a shorter cooldown on your trinket. Now the next one, I honestly run, it depends on the combo that I do. If I do Vim and Vigor, I will do Holy Consecration. If I'm doing Inner Focus, I'll do Greater Fade. So Greater Fade tends to work better for me if I feel I'm going to be focusing. Like, for an example, let's say I'm in a rated battleground or I'm in a pre-made battleground, and me and one DPS decides to play defense in like Warsong Gulch, for an example. And so it's one healer, one DPS. They're going to focus me. If they're going to focus me, I'm going to run Greater Fade because it is such a small cooldown. But if I'm running Holy Consecration, absolutely run Vim and Vigor for me because it just buffs your heals. 20% plus the buff that you get for doing a holy word plus the buff that you get for the Light of Toru. So let's say I've got 20% plus 25%, so that's 45%, and then I get the buff from Divinity. So 45, 50, that's 60% extra healing you're doing if you do your combos right. That's with Vim and Vigor. If I run Greater Fade, if you do Greater Fade, it makes you basically immune to all freaking damage for 6 seconds, but you're still susceptible to kicks. So in my opinion, if I run Greater Fade and I pop it, and I want to start casting, to me, it doesn't make sense to waste a Greater Fade and try and heal myself up and not run Inner Focus, because I do Greater Fade and then I do Inner Focus, which makes you immune to all silence and interrupt effects for 5 seconds. It also increases the critical effect chance of your next heal, Flash Heal, Holy Word Serenity, Holy Fire, or Smite, which is pretty helpful. So I'll do Greater Fade, Inner Focus, and then that allows me to just spam some heals, and it gets the kicks out. So they're all focusing on me, they tunnel vision on me, I run Greater Fade, they're super frustrated, and they're expecting to be able to kick me still when I start casting. That's why I do Inner Focus. Now, as far as the next tier down, I used to run Purification a lot, and I still do in Arena sometimes if it's a Mage team or a Warlock team where I know that there's going to be a ton of chain CC when it comes to spell. Not like a rogue. A rogue, I can't dispel their stuns or anything like that. But if I feel like they have a lot of dots / crowd control, then I will run Purification, because you can actually fish out them to chain their fears if you get them, if you run this, because you will dispel their dots or their magic abilities, and then they'll sheep because they're like, sweet, you just use your dispel. And then they sheep, you can then dispel their sheep, and by that time, if your team is correctly putting pressure on the mage or the warlock, they don't have enough time to do another chained CC. If I'm just running a battleground, I have done Holy Ward now, and it is much more effective. I love being able to be immune to the next loss of control effect. So if I know that there's a rogue out there and they're going to come in and they've already attacked me and I'm defending like mines in Arathi Basin, I will keep this on me on cooldown. I'll actually pop this at the beginning of the battleground start. So I pop this on me, I'll pop a Prayer of Mending on me, and I get all these buffs on me because the cooldowns are so short. It's only 30 seconds. So let's say you're going into a team battle, then when you pop this Holy Ward on yourself, it just guarantees that you're not going to get the first Cyclone, the first Sap, Sheep, any of those things, or Stun. It's not on you, so it's super helpful. I don't really run Spiritual Cleansing. I've never really felt the need to. I personally don't find it very helpful. Some people might. It's just normally Purification or Holy Ward. The next talent down, I absolutely love Greater Fade. If I know I'm going to be focused all the time, I love Greater Fade. Although, at the same time, I have had immense success with Holy Consecration. I guess I can read Greater Fade. Basically just removes your threat, increases your movement speed by 50%, which is really powerful stacked with Angelic Feather. So I'll do Angelic Feather, Greater Fade, and check out how fast I am. Like, you can just cruise. If you have the flag, which I have done before, if you're the only one that can grab the flag, freaking grab it and get out of there. It's extremely overpowered, I guess you would call it, or just a really good combo. 40% increase with the Feather, and then 50% increase with the Greater Fade. That's 90% faster. So I find that combo very useful. Holy Consecration, on the other hand, if you feel like you're just going to have to be a turret, a healing turret, this is priceless, because our heals are so effective. Like our normal heal, I mean, in instance PvP, I think it's around 600,000 that I heal for. And then on crits, it's almost 1 million. If you can just stand there, I mean, if you look at my mana, 90% or 99%, 97%, 97%, 98%, 97%, and I'm just spamming this heal. I will spam heal with Holy Consecration. You get kicked. The next kick is reduced by 70%. And I will actually, it's not for your tree either. So I will fish out a kick on my mind control. And then the next kick that I get on my heal tree, it's reduced by 70%. So within a couple kicks, you're free casting and you can just cast and cast for 20 seconds. Something else I will try and fish out is I will try and get silenced or kicked. I don't know what the interrupt is called, from a demon hunter. Demon hunters, I think it's only 2 or 3 seconds. So if you can get your first kick to be from a demon hunter, it's only 3 seconds or less. It's not like a 5-second one from a mage or a priest or a rogue. So you try and fish out the very first silence or interrupt from a short interrupt class, such as a demon hunter. And then the next one, let's say it's a rogue that comes up and kicks you, that 5 seconds silence is now like 1.5 seconds, and then you're basically immune after that because of how much this stacks. So I find this very effective. It's basically Greater Fade or Holy Consecration. The next one, I used to run Miracle Worker a lot. It basically gives you 2 charges on Holy Word Serenity, and we all know what that does. It's just a huge instant cast heal. But I feel like with stacking Apotheosis, you're getting them every 3 flash heals. So I found this one not as effective because what I was doing is I would pop Apotheosis, and then in order to get 2 charges charged up, you have to do 6 flash heals. And so that just didn't make sense to me. So I do Rapid Mending now to get the instant cast, and the jump yard is increased by 20 yards. So if you're doing a battleground and they're really far away from each other, normally I think it's 20 yards, and then with spec'd into it's 40 yards. So it just bounces all over the place really far. I've also played around with Greater Heal. Again, I will do it sometimes if I'm running Holy Consecration because you're spamming those Greater Heals. Right now it's a 1.9 second cast. With spec'd into Greater Heal, it reduces the cast time by 15%, and it increases the maximum mana or the maximum health of the player that you're healing by 20%. So one thing that I'll do if I'm spec'd into this is I will be casting, because the mana efficiency is so excellent, that I will be spamming heals. If let's say you're defending a node, I will be casting heals rotating through my entire team before a fight even starts. Or I'm defending a flag carrier, I'll be spamming Greater Heals because everybody's health is increased by 20%. So I have found that helpful as well. But I traditionally run Rapid Mending because I absolutely love being able to move and cast heals at the same time. The last one, I think it's pretty obvious to do Ray of Hope. It is literally the most effective thing that I have found. In desperate situations, let's say you're in the temple battleground and you've got an orb carrier and they're taking massive damage, I will pop Ray of Hope, which essentially, for 6 seconds, all damage and all healing dealt to the target is delayed until this Ray of Hope ends, and then all your healing that was delayed by Ray of Hope is increased by 100%, which is insane. Like, it helps so much. I wonder if I can... There's no guys around. In a minute I'll see if I can... Well, no, I've got examples in the battlegrounds. But it is really effective at, let's say your orb carrier is getting focused, they're at 10% health, you pop Ray of Hope on them, and then you're healing. Well, you're not, like, everything's being absorbed. Everything is absorbed, both damage and healing, and it is hilarious to see someone go from 10% health as an orb, everybody thinks that they're going to die, and then 6 seconds later their health goes back up to 100%. It is extremely effective. I've also run Spirit of the Redeemer, but I mean it's now an active ability with a 5-minute cooldown. Basically, you can pop the thing when you die and turn into that spirit angel and heal. You can't be kicked. You can't, and nothing can attack you. So you can pop this. I have found this kind of effective in battlegrounds when like people are focusing on you and it looks like you just died. I'll pop this at like 10% health or 20% health, and then I will heal people. The duration is reduced by 5 seconds though, so I believe that let's find it. Okay, Spirit of Redemption. It lasts for 15 seconds when you die. But if it's the passive thing, it's only 10 seconds. So when I spec into Spirit of Redeemer, I will actually spec into, where is it? Afterlife. So it increases the duration by 50%. So that if you're going to run Spirit of Redeemer, I would highly recommend doing Afterlife. Again, I don't really run those things. So I would honestly just stick with Ray of Hope. It really, the biggest thing with the combo that I have, if you think about it, Inner Focus, 30-second cooldown. Incredible. Holy Word, 30-second cooldown. Again, that's these are extremely powerful abilities, and they're 30 seconds, Greater Fade, 30 seconds, Ray of Hope, 45 seconds. So you basically have 1, 2, 3, 4 extremely powerful cooldowns within a 30 second to 45 second cooldown. To me, it just makes holy priests insanely hard to kill and extremely effective. Holy Ward, that can be cast on yourself or a friendly. Ray of Hope, that can be cast on yourself or a friendly. Greater Fade, it's just yourself. Inner Focus, it's just yourself. So you have 2 really good ones for yourself and 2 really good ones for your buddies. So that's basically the talent breakdown that I do. You may think differently. You may do other things, which is great. It's all about your playstyle. This is just what works for me. And here, I'll show you right now. Again, I'm not the highest rated player, but I only started PvPing 2 weeks ago. Last week. No, like a week and a half. Anyways, my win ratio isn't the best in 3s because I've tried tons of different combos that really don't work with Holy Priest. 2s, I've done way more of those. I actually started with 2s just to get used to healing in PvP, and then I just started excuse me, I started doing rated last week. So not too bad. I mean, I only have 10 wins under my belt out of 21, but still, the reason I'm showing you this, I'm not the most professional high rated player, but I feel like I have had a lot of successes. So now I will go into cooldown usage. I'm going to see, give me just a minute. I'm going to see if I can find a group of guys to start smashing me so I can actually show you. So I'm going to just get a whole big group of guys, see if I can get some serious damage on me. Alright, so I get my hot up on me. I will get the Inner Focus and Greater Fade together. So, oh, there's someone next to me helping. This isn't going to work. Alright, let's try and find someone else. This guy just is determined to attack when I'm attacking. Alright, so here's an example. Angelic Feather with Greater Fade. So it can get super duper far away from people. Just get out of the situations. But basically that's what I do together. And then I'll wait. I'll wait quite a while to do Ray of Hope. By the time I've done Greater Fade and Inner Focus, and I can cast Heal on myself a bunch of times, get myself up, get my party up. By that time, normally, they'll leave me alone. Or they get super angry and they just want to focus me more at that point. Then I'll do Holy Ward. Ray of Hope. But let's say I do Greater Fade mixed with Inner Focus, get my heals going, and then another teammate's going down. I will then do Ray of Hope on my friendly, so that way me and another person are essentially immune to all damage. Get me and the other person up, me and 3 other people up. Something I'll do is I'll Greater Fade myself, Ray of Hope someone else, and then heal a third. So 3 of us, essentially, I'm being immune to damage, a second person's being immune to damage, third person I'm healing. That's a way, if you're in like a super crunch and you absolutely just have to stay alive, I'll let my teammates get down to 20, 30%, keep my Prayer of Mending going, keep my renews on people, and that's how I'll do my cooldowns. It's just really effective to bounce it back to back. So let's say this person's taking damage, Ray of Hope. I'm taking damage, Greater Fade. Then there's this Druid, and they're going to be CC'd. Do your Holy Ward. So you got a CC immunity, you got Ray of Hope on another person, you got Greater Fade on me. You can just bounce around your cooldowns. And there's such a short cooldown that honestly, I'm used to playing other classes with really, really high cooldowns. If you have your Holy Priest spec like I do, your cooldowns are so short that here, Greater Fade. 30 seconds, since I'm alternating them between Ray of Hope. Now that my Greater Fade is now done, look, Ray of Hope is up, and my Greater Fade only has 18 seconds left. Now I Ray of Hope myself, get that going. Ray of Hope is about to fall off. Okay, now Ray of Hope is off. Well, look, 8 seconds and you have Greater Fade again. So now you're waiting, you're healing yourself. Let's say you use Greater Fade at a different time, like, one thing I'll do with Greater Fade as well is, let's say the mage is here and you have a warrior and you know that they just use their interrupt. I will Greater Fade and not use my inner focus. So then I can cast, and then not only that, I now have inner focus when I'm being focused. So then I pop inner focus after Greater Fade if you know that you're not going to get kicked. And now you have immunity, and then you have Ray of Hope up, 2 seconds on Ray of Hope, cast Ray of Hope, and there's 10 seconds left on Greater Fade. So you just bounce back and forth between these, and the fact that there's such a small cooldown, you can literally just continue to do it over and over and over again with great success. And the main thing I was going to talk about with Perseverance, I don't know if people spec into this at all to give you that buff so you're taking 40% less damage. One of my buddies who's a 2500 rating player, he said the best damage reducer is none damage, which sounds funny, but it made sense. Let's say there's melee on me. Put Angelic Feather down, Greater Fade, get super far away. I'm not taking damage because I'm out of their range. Let's say I know that they're an assassination rogue or a subtlety rogue, or a warrior, and they can just stay on me. Here's an example of something. You just stun them and then feather away. And by the time they're done being stunned, look how far away I am. Okay, that's a perfect example. They just sprinted up to me. I can do this, keep it going. If you have other people that are slowing them, you can just get out of there. So you're taking none damage, which is the best type of damage. All right, let me show you. I'm going to run up to a group of people and just show you what I meant with the Apotheosis stacked with the Holy Word Chastise thing. So check this out. I'm going to Apotheosis, and then I'm going to Smite. Smite, stun. Get over to this guy. I'm going to smite them. 1, 2, 3, stun. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go to this guy. Stun them. 1, and then Apotheosis lasts long enough, unless they are just trying to lock out one guy. You can just smite, stun, one character. Okay, so I've done all those things. Got this stun on them. Come over here. Mind control them. So I've got 2 guys that you can potentially be crowd controlling at the same time. That's why I absolutely love the Apotheosis with the Holy Word Chastise buff, because you can stun the crap out of tons of people while doing decent damage, because the Holy Word Chastise, I mean, you can see, at least in World PvP, it does a crap ton. I mean, here, let me get it off. So now I hit it with this. About 300,000. But when you can spam it every 3 smites, it adds up. For being a healer that's just raw healing, it's not a discipline priest, it really does add up. So basically, that's what I recommend for cooldown usage, talents, things of that nature. I tend to play extremely offensively when it comes to Holy Priest. I almost play like a discipline priest. Even though I don't really play discipline. Let's say I'm in an arena fight or a 2v3 or a 4v3 in a battleground, whatever. I'm going to run in, I'm going to stun this guy, I'm going to just start doing as much damage as I possibly can until I start getting focused. There's no reason not to. Spam those smites, do whatever it is. Okay, now I'm getting focused. Greater fade, inner focus, get my heals up. Once I've got everybody healed back up, let's say we're taking a bunch of damage, then the best thing you can do is to make it so people stop taking damage. Mind control this guy, super far away. Let's say I get my feather down, mind control this guy. I want him as far away as possible. So, oh hey, it doesn't work in World PvP. That's interesting. There are examples in the footage that I'm going to show. Get him as far away as possible. Come over here, stun this person. Come over here. Just attack, 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 hot. Get your prayer of mendings up. Do as many as the things that you can do. Do your holy words to fish out this guy. If I can get this little side buddy to pop out, I will literally stop all my healing and just do damage. I'm going to see if I can get him to come out again. Because if you spam smites with that guy out, you really can do a decent amount of damage. I've been able to end so many arena fights by doing this. By spamming smites, getting the apotheosis. Let's say I know my team's going to be focusing on a DPS and they need the healer controlled. I will pop apotheosis. I will do smites and stuns, as many as I possibly can. Once they are immune to my stuns, then I'll mind control chain CC them as well. So let's say this is a guy that is, let's say it's a resto druid. I think I actually have an example of this in the video. Smite, do a stun. Okay, let's say I've been doing this back to back and now he's immune to stuns. All right, mind control, something that I absolutely will do in World PvP and Battlegrounds. I will just mind control him for the 10-second duration or whatever. It's obviously longer in PvE, but I will mind control them just as a reset. So I'll mind control them and then they come back out, and then that gives you enough time for your greater fade and your ray of hope to become off cooldown. So you're getting focused, you do your greater fade, it's still not enough, they're focusing you, you're getting just destroyed, you can do your stun. It gives you a little bit of time, you do your ray of hope because you're still getting focused, you got a demon hunter, a warrior, an enhancement shaman, they're just kicking the crap out of you. With another player that, let's say you just have one other DPS that sheeps or does something, you can take someone out and just mind control them. It just relieves the pressure. If you have prayer of mending bouncing around, you have a renew on yourself, don't be afraid to mind control. I have won so many fights, even though I'm at 80%, I'm getting chunked, I just watch my health, and then I will save my instant casts for when mind control breaks, because I can get myself instantly back up and then I can mind control again. So don't be afraid to watch your health go a little bit down. You do need to understand burst though. Very, very, very high burst classes, I would not recommend mind controlling. I would do more of the Holy Word Chastise, be very defensive at that point. Once they've used their cooldowns, they've used Metamorphosis, they've used the things that are going to burst you down, then that's where you use your defenses, and then you can go offensive. Okay, you got this guy to pop out, I just spam smite. Look at how quickly this guy goes down for being a healer. Like, that's extremely quick when it comes to healing DPS, in my opinion. Like, I feel like you can definitely burst someone down and help your team, especially if you have some new teammates in a random battleground. They may not be the best DPS and they need your help pressure. So don't be afraid to go offensive as well. I do smites and holy fire all the time. One last thing that I will talk about before I go and show the footage, I know this is a little bit longer than I was planning on, is I will go through and I will do smites, do things like that, and then I will mind control. Let's say this is a rogue. Your mind control will get them out of combat. So when they get out of your mind control, let's say it's 10 seconds, they get out, I'll immediately holy fire. Immediately. So it stays, keeps them in combat, and it puts a dot on them so they can't re-stealth. So that's the last thing I would recommend doing. There are so many times when I'm protecting something, guarding something, and a rogue comes in. I know a rogue's on me. I'm going to do Holy Ward to make it so he can't sap or stun me. and then I just give him crap by just mind controlling, stun chain. I mean, you have a lot of control of the field if you play your Holy Priest correctly. All right, so I think that pretty much sums up everything. I'm going to now do the actual arena and battleground gameplay and do a step-by-step and a breakdown of what it is that I do there. So let's get to it. Thank you guys very much. Okay, so here is the example videos that I wanted to show you. So this is basically, I'm running the talent to become immune to dispels quicker, so I'm not running Greater Fade right now. So here we go. We got me as a priest and then a Mistweaver monk, and there's just a big fight trying to take top. So here we go. You'll notice I keep my renews up, do all these things. You'll see I get silenced right here, and then every other silence is so short that I'm able to stay alive. Granted, I had a Mistweaver monk helping for a little bit, but you'll notice here in a sec, you'll see my health going way down. I pop one of my cooldowns, and I'm getting silenced and silenced and silenced, but they're so short, it doesn't matter. And you'll see right there, the Mistweaver monk just went down, and my health was going down just as quickly, but I have more defensive cooldowns. So you'll see I get brought back up. Prayer of Mending is going crazy. Dispel when I can. And this is just a really good example of why having the 70% reduced to silences really does help. I think I took the Druid silence, Rogue silence, a Demon Hunter silence, a Paladin silence, and all back to back. Now, if that was me without that talent, there's no way that I would have been able to live through that. So that's a good example of that specific talent working. Here's an example of what it is that I was trying to show you with Angelic Feather with Mind Control. So I pop my Angelic Feather down, and then this Paladin. Now, normally this Paladin's far enough away that I may not have been able to make it. So get the feather, boom, he's in the water. Nothing he could do. Here's another example of good mind control. So here, if you mind control someone out of the circle, then they're no longer capping the cart. So you'll notice here, I go in and I just immediately mind control. I quickly get reinforced, but I was able to make it so we took the cart quickly because we have a little mini battle here in a minute, and we already have it now. So because I was able to mind control them out, it just makes it so they just give up, because now we have the cart, we got our people there, and then I see this Resto Druid running away, and so I will actually pull healers back over and over and over again. You'll see this healer, I pull him back, he does his Wind Gust. No, I'm going to grab him again because I want my teammates to kill him. So I'm going to pull him back into the fight and keep him as far away from where he's trying to get so that he's not successful. So that was a example of that. Here's one where I'm actually going to skip ahead. It shows... all right, so I have a monk on me. I have I had a couple other guys on me, and I'm carrying the cart, and I'm at 100% health pretty much the whole time. And then I get help, so I stop the video because I end up getting help with another healer, and it's not very impressive doing 2 heals on a cart. So, all right, here's an example. Here's a couple examples of arena. So I go offensive on this. It's me and a Feral Druid versus a Mistweaver monk and a Feral Druid. So you'll notice I'm focusing on the Feral Druid at first. I'm trying to mind control him. I fish out a kick that way. I'm able to then heal, and then I just start popping feathers down. Because Mistweaver monks are so mobile, I want to keep my character's person, my Feral Druid, as quick as possible. Now you'll notice right here, I have my stun up. And I know that Feral Druids can stun, and you'll notice my health is at half. He's at probably 70% health. It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to just out-heal them. I want to kill them. So I know that Feral Druids have a stun, but if I can use mine, it lets him then do his way overpowered finishers. So you'll notice I'll come up, stun this monk, and the monk has used all of his mobility now. I stun him, and then look what happens. Just start doing smites, and my feral druid buddy does his job. He just kills him. It's as simple as that. All right, so here's a threes game. These are all examples of how good our mind control mixed with a stun is. So what I do is I will mind control anything that's putting pressure. So this rogue, it was Holy Priest, Shadow Priest, Rogue on the enemy side versus Holy Priest, Mage, Rogue on my side. So I'm mind controlling the rogue, and then you'll notice I just holy fired him. So now he's still in combat. He can't get out. He's got a hot on him or a dot on him. He can't do anything. Now I notice that they're about to open up on the Shadow Priest. So now when they open up on the Shadow Priest, I mind control the Holy Priest back to back and then stun. So I mind controlled and then stunned him, and that gave him enough time to kill the Holy Priest. And then it's a done thing. Okay, here is a perfect example of apotheosis with the stun. Okay, so pay attention, whether you want to look at my gladiator or up here, it's Windwalker Monk, Frost Death Knight, so they're playing Walking Dead with a Feral Druid, or a Resto Druid. Now I see that they're going to be opening up on the DPS. Now watch what I do. I've got 12 seconds left on my stun, and I'm smiting. So now I can stun, and then I'm going to do 3 smites. Pay attention to the health of the Windwalker. So smite, smite, stun. Okay, at this point, the Resto Druid is panicking because look at the health. I have another stun and mind control that I can do. So now he goes and he's basically dead. He pops his big cooldown, the Feral Druid, or the Resto Druid busts out Tree of Life, or whatever the hell that thing is called, and now I can mind control. Pull him away, and the monks, or the Windwalker monk's already dead. I mean, this is just over crowd control, and it is so effective. Now here, the Windwalker monk, Demon Hunter, and Fury Warrior against Rogue Mage Priest. I know Rogue Mage Priest is pretty overpowered. I'm just showing you what it is that Holy Priest can bring to the table. So I've got this warrior on me. I don't even care. He can do whatever he wants. What I want to do is get their healer out of the way. So I got this guy. I noticed that the Demon Hunter is super low on health. Then I just mind control. Mind control him over. He's used his trinket. It's end of game. I can then mind control again. And one more time. So he comes to come back, and then I just start smiting him to get the stun. Here's another perfect example. You have to wait for your team to call out their burst and to use their burst to your advantage. So this is Warrior, Mage, Resto Druid versus Rogue Mage Priest, which is what I'm running. So you'll see they're starting to focus on the Mage. I just stunned him, but it's a diminished return with the Rogue stun, and then I mind control. And I mind control him off the bridge and underneath. Just get him out there. I think he trinkets. Or no, I get silenced. So then my rogue goes down to start controlling the Resto Druid while the mage is ice blocked. But I just mind control him again so they can go focus on the mage. Now granted, I should have Mass Dispelled. But again, I'm still learning. And I'm still figuring out all the things and all the best usage of stuff. So then I just mind control him back down, and then they just do everything they can, get the mage down, and it's a done game. So those are really good examples of stun / mind control techniques and how you can just super dominate the fight. And this is one example that I just wanted to show. I tried World PvP for the first time, and I just wanted to show how incredibly powerful Holy Priests are, because I know that there's a lot of outcry for how everybody can get one shot, and you'll see I go around, kill this Balance Druid. Another thing you notice is they just don't attack me for a while, which is fine with me. I think it's hilarious. So I kill the Balance Druid. For some reason, this Holy Paladin's just not doing anything. This Feral Druid's not doing anything. I kill the Holy Priest, or the Holy Paladin, and then finally this Windwalker Monk comes up, and he wants to kill me now. So I just pop some of my cooldowns and I just keep fighting. I end up dying here in a minute, but I have the legendary cloak. I got it the other day, which is freaking awesome because it just resurrects me again. So I burst through karma. I just use my defensives again. I end up getting distracted and I'm healing myself, killing them, and I'm forming a group all at the same time. And then I end up getting overwhelmed with the Feral Druid, Windwalker Monk, and the Balanced Druid all on me at the same time, which is fine with me. I mean, I feel like 3 DPS on me is, I think that's okay to die to 3 DPS in World PvP. But you can see that I'm just lasting forever and ever. And you notice that I don't like pop my health all the way up to full the entire time. I'm also trying to DPS. So after Spirit of Redemption goes away, I end up getting resurrected, and then the Feral Druid and the Holy Paladin try and fight me. Something else I really want to point you towards is look at my mana. It is insane. Like, I'm almost at 100% mana still. So I've got the Balanced Druid and their minions, or the Feral Druid and his minion, the Holy Paladin and his minion, and I'm able to just stay at full health and full mana essentially the entire time. So I start bursting down this Holy Paladin and watch his or her the Paladin's mana. The Paladin's mana just starts going down. Look at my mana. I'm still at 100%. And so this is another powerful thing. I know a lot of people complain about Discipline Priests having mana issues, and I know for a fact that my Windwalker Monk, or the Mistweaver Monk, has mana issues, but I've never had mana issues with my Holy Priest. I'm still just damaging. The Holy Paladin's down to 60% mana, and I'm still excuse me, I'm still at 100% mana. It's really, really efficient. It's really effective, and it's extremely fun. I highly recommend Holy Priest. Give it a shot. I'd love to see more Holy Priests in Arena, in Battlegrounds. I think it would be super fun to see them get more limelight. I think they're getting a really fun buff in 7.2. I'm not sure if it's going to stick around, so I wasn't going to cover that yet until it's actually in the game. I'd hate to get everyone excited and then have it not be even there. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys thought. I'd love to hear feedback, and just keep playing your Holy Priest. If that's what you're doing, keep playing them, and don't let anybody discourage you. If that's what you like to play, freaking play it. I'm having a ball. It's extremely fun, and yeah, just keep on keeping on. And let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Thank you very much, guys. Have a wonderful day.